Hello YouTubers, it's your favorite shit talker and pussy popper here, Yada Baby, and I actually just made a video the other day, but like I said, I'm trying to get more into recording and being on my social media channel, I guess. My videos are kind of raw right now. I'm still learning how to edit and do all of that stuff, so for those who are watching and those who are subscribing and those who like what I have to say, I appreciate it. Keep doing it. So yesterday I made a video about coming out. It was a snippet of the actual coming out story between me and my mother, and that was in December of 2007. So it's 2018 now. Yay! So for those of you who are just now tuning into me, I am an African American transgender woman, and I don't really know whom is subscribed to me, and you know, if that doesn't suit your fancy, love you too. But I kind of wanted to go and speak further into who I am and kind of give a backdrop of what I stand for, what my goals are, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start talking. So, I am Yada Baby. Yada stands for You Ain't the Average Baby. So, for those people who are wondering what Yada stands for, where did I get Yada from? I've been using Yada actually as a coined name of mine for about a couple of years now on the escorting platform. For a lot of people who may or may not know me personally, I am an escort. I am. And that's a bit of truth that I usually don't talk to many people about, because it isn't something that I feel a lot of people need to know. But to be truthfully honest, we're being transparent here, and I'm trying to go forth and be a better person, you know, and hopefully somebody finds stock and takes value in what I'm saying, and we're able to recreate and reconnect and network. Because ultimately, I'm not going to be where I'm at right now 5 years. I'm too ambitious for that. So right now, this is where I am. This is my experience. A lot of people don't know that African American and just trans women of color are stuck in the escorting lifestyle. Some of them because they don't know anything different, and others because in the game of survival, it's been very easy to navigate and get in control of. So, with that being said, for the past 7 to 8 years I have been an escort. It has been a fulfilling experience of mine, but it has been one that has kind of been a blessing and a curse at the same time. When you escort, it's good money, it's fast, but with escorting comes the need to travel a lot, the need to see new cities, and all of those can be, with the right outlook, be a great thing. Everyone wants to travel and everyone wants to be able to see new cities, but when you take into account the fact that you're traveling and you have goals, because for me, I never travel just to play around. I do have things. I have a business, you know, that I'm trying to take care of on the back end, as well as other personal endeavors. I model, I take care of family, I take care of my home. Those are things that I have to take care of, and with a good outlook and a good perspective, escorting helps with that. Now when we get into where escorting is in this day and age, right now in 2018, in the month of June, escorting is trying to be pushed to the back because of SCSTA/FOSTA. And it's actually sad to see, because I feel as though human trafficking is totally horrible, and I feel that yes, there needed to be grounds and there needed to be steps taken to prevent that. But I don't think that you need to try to tell other grown-ups what to do with their bodies and to try to come so down hard on the actual industries that these suit and tie guys have actually come to control. Honestly, when you think about it, these suit and tie guys, they're going to the strip clubs for their bachelor parties and for their business meetings and to network when we watch reality TV shows and team celebrations and shit like that when they win series and playoffs, championships and shit. And Foster Sesta actually encompassing the whole sex industry, from pornography, escorting, stripping, video play. It's actually trying to control the whole industry. And a lot of people are having to rebrand, and that's what I'm going through in the process. I'm rebranding. And I'm taking stock of what Backpage was able to help me get and create. And I'm trying to solidify those and network, because they have a lot of skills. I've been escorting for about 7 to 8 years, and I've put myself through school because I knew that it would not last forever. However, I did not expect for them to snatch her away so quickly. And I'm watching a lot of my trans sisters actually, each day, day by day, we are having to go back to the drawing board and figure out how we're going to make it, and figure out how we're going to keep doing what we have been doing with no problems the last couple of years. You know, if you remember, it came from, where I'm from, it came from the pages where you would actually have to go down and get an ad listing in the papers, to Craigslist. Craigslist was a safer way for girls to make money. And we're not talking about just trans women, we're talking about females that are cisgendered as well. It was a safer way for them to be somewhere and to screen their calls and to do what they have to do and to make them ends meet how they have been doing. And then Backpage got into the fold. Now, my personal thoughts on the Backpage situation, I feel that had those creators of Backpage taken value in what these people who wanted to end sex trafficking were trying to say and trying to achieve, I think that they wouldn't have come so hard on Backpage. They have proven that there was negligence on those creators' parts, and I don't respect that, because there are a lot of girls who have been trafficked, particularly where I'm from, Minnesota. The state of Minnesota is a very highly trafficked state, especially Minneapolis. And just the whole Iowa, Dakota, Wisconsin, Minnesota area. So it's becoming harder for both sides to actually survive and to make it. And Foster Sesta has actually brought safe working tactics and safe working options, and they're making people feel like that they have to get back on the streets. And it's actually kind of sad, because whereas I used to be very safe, upscale hotels, security, I didn't have to deal with, in the sex world, you do meet those a-holes, but with the ability to screen your calls and for them to call you and to have that one-on-one conversation before they got there, it's so much better and safer than being on where they would call them the Blade, the Stroll, the Avenue, the Boulevard, wherever you girls have to go and get on the street to get your money. It was way safer for us to do that. So I didn't have to really experience a lot of stroll walking and being outside. So who I am, I'm a 25-year-old African-American trans woman. I am, like I said, a businesswoman. Later on in my videos, we'll talk more about that and who I am on a professional and a business scale. But me, and the reason that I'm Yada Baby, is because I'm a model. My dream is to continue my acting and modeling career. And I've taken a backdrop from that, from when I was 17 and 18 and trying to get into college on a theater degree to achieve theater credentials. I've kind of fallen back from that. So I've kind of focused on my education in other areas that were more focused and more trade-like, so that I can still make money, because like I said, I knew that Backpage wouldn't last forever. So with that being said, I'm 25, African American trans woman, and I love everybody. I'm a real cool, kicking person. I love to talk shit. I love to get money. I love to travel. I love to twerk. You know, a lot of my videos that you will see will be of me twerking. You know, I do like to shake my ass. I'm very, what can I say? I'm very loose. You know, I used to be a stripper part-time. And in that world, it was kind of cutthroat because I had to hide my transgender identity. It's not something I like to talk about because I don't like people to focus on the fact that I'm just trans. I'm not just trans. I'm a female, and I'm a person of character, and I'm a person with feelings. And transgender does not define me. It is just something that, in my opinion, it doesn't define my whole being, but it gives you an insight to who I am. Because there are so many other qualities that you will find amongst transgender people, male and female. And the T is only a letter in the alphabet. It does not just define who we are. A lot of us would rather have a conversation with someone without transgender being in the conversation because it makes people act weird. I think they kind of look at the word transgender as pity, or look at the word as transgender as having to refocus and reword what they want to say. One thing about it, be who you are. Real transgender people are going to be who they are, and they're going to want you to be the same. I want you to give to me the realism that I give to you, so you don't have to change up what you feel, but you should be respectful, and you will be respectful dealing with me. I don't do misgendering. As I was younger, I've always been an androgynous person. Now, as I got older, things got more defined because my chromosome was Y, I believe, right? So when I say that, yes, we know what that comes with. Puberty, it comes with, you know, in the lanes of the blue and versus the pink. I'll say it like that. So, but my life, I've always been confused of being as female. Always. As long as I can remember, my hair has always been long, naturally. My skin has always been clear. My voice has always been high. I used to be a singer, you know, in the church choirs with my grandmother and stuff like that. So I kind of think that kind of helped me acclimate and made my transition, even before I started transitioning, so much more smoother. Life for me from, you know, early ages on up was okay. My mother is a great mother. She's beautiful. She's a realistic person. And she knows how to be in control. That's one thing that I will give my mom. My mom is a leader, and she takes control very well. And where I got my planning personality, I got it from her. And I appreciate that from her. So when I got to be about 10 or so, I used to go to the parks, and all the kids used to ask me, are you a boy or are you a girl? And it used to frustrate me because my mom would see that, and she would just interject. This is what I have. Stop saying that. Blase will skip. I thought it was only with the kids that would think that. No, it wasn't just the kids. It was my mother's friends too. Friends that she would just come to meet, or new friends that were mutual friends of the friends she already had, and they would meet me. They would say, oh, your daughter is so beautiful. Her hair is so beautiful. How you keep it so long? And then she'd have to stop and correct them. And it was always embarrassing. Oh, look, cute puppy. It was always embarrassing for me because my mom would take offense, and I knew her vibe, so I knew it would irritate her. But for me, I didn't used to think nothing of it. I just used to correct them and keep on going because as a child, you don't think about that. I wonder why they keep asking me. I don't see it because I know who I am, and I know what my mom reminds me who I am. But I don't see why they keep asking me, and then I had to look as I got older and say, this is why they've been saying it. I met my first transgender homegirl because if you all are familiar with Minneapolis, back in the day, we used to go to District 202. District 202 was a LGBT space for allies as well. Those who were questioning. It had resources, condoms, it had outreach, it had prevention, education, and it was also a safe space. They would have snacks, food. They would have actually occasional parties every other weekend. And it was just a space for kids that were looking for an environment to be themselves. It was a space for them. And it became a home for me, because when I found out about it, I never left. It was like I would go to school and I would go straight to district afterwards, because district was a safe spot for me. District was where I can go. And back in the day, for those who remember, it was BGC Live. So, you know what I'm saying? We all start from somewhere. So as I was how we would call it in the ballroom scene, a butch queen at the age of 14, I would be on BGC Live. But if you also remember, for those who will see this, back in the day, they didn't want no fibs or fats. Remember that? So I fit that feminine category because I was damn near androgynous. I mean, you would look at me and see that I was already a young girl. But conversation, I would tell you how it was. And you'd be like, oh. So I would be on BGC at District 202, you know, doing homework, seeing my good girlfriends. And I actually met my homegirl, Mikhail. I love you, Mimi. That was my first transgender homegirl. And honestly, when I met her, she was so real and passable that it was just like, I didn't know that she was even TS until my good homegirl who was cisgendered. And for those who are watching, cisgendered means naturally born, anatomically female. Okay? So she told me that my homegirl was trans. And it still didn't matter to me, because it's like, hell, I'm gay, so shit, we just finna kick it, you know? I started to actually help her take her hormones. And, now you okay? I actually started helping her take her hormone shots, and it actually started to pique an interest in me. Oh, y'all, this is my brother, D. This hey, YouTube. Actually, recording, and trying to stay with content.
Okay, well, girl, they have to wait. I'm sorry to cut you off, but girl.
Be yourself, be real.
I feel like at the end of the day, you're finna live for this sandwich.
You feel, oh, I'm finna live for the sandwich, y'all.
I'm finna live for this sandwich. Okay.
I want to give you one of the things that stick up here, so it could be like this, and so it will swivel back and forth.
Okay, this one.
Okay.
Now, mind you, I didn't know if you was gonna get into this fair right here, y'all. Y'all have to get into these. They everything.
We sitting outside of Kroger's, y'all, and I guess Kroger's.
No, we definitely sitting outside of Publix.
Oh.
How you up?
See, now I'm not from the South. I'm down here visiting because my boyfriend comes home from jail.
It's no Publix up north.
No, there's no Publix.
And my mama from New York, and she loves Publix.
There's no Publix up north.
I bet you gonna cross to the South from this Publix.
But mind you, listen, on the East Coast though, there's a place called Wawa's though. Baby, and you say your people from the East Coast, like Jersey, be more set. Yeah. Bitch, that Wawa's is life.
What I'm talking about Philly, is Philly and stuff
Philly
like that.
all over there. It's a gas station type area, but it's not as big. Like it's not a grocery store. It's just a gas station.
Corner store.
Gas
That's
station.
Okay, gas station.
But they got their own paninis, sandwiches, blase.
Now, mind you said pineapple here. She give pineapple set too. But she
boo. That's either. Brother is on his shit. You see the y'all?
That is rich.
Yes, natural lemonade.
I'm sticking with me.
Oh, so this is my new brother that I just met, you guys, by way of one of my other trans aunties that we just been really vibing on this motherfucking tour of ours, and we've been making our money and shit. So this is YouTube. Like I said, I'm trying to keep more on my YouTube channel. Yeah. I'm trying to record everything, and I actually just let them know that I am an escort. And I did let them know, you know, I'm giving them the backdrop of me being trans and how that started and who I met and who I said.
Gotta get it how I live, that's the moist. Put that pussy on the dick and make it stand.
And bust.
I'll put it to the side for a beans. Yo.
So, that was my good girlfriend, and I started to take her shots and give them to her, so it started to pique my interest. And it was just like, maybe this is what I am. Because I never liked to go into the boys' bathroom. I used to always try to sneak in the boys' bathroom.
Now, mind you, I used to go to the boys' bathroom without Papa Squat. I felt like crap. But
mind you, it was given. Like my mama always taught me never to sit on the toilet. So it gave, go in the bathroom, use your bathroom, and get up out of there.
Now, at home, I'm going to always sit and think.
Always.
I'm going to always sit over before this.
So,
now, make sure.
Yeah. Turkey, and
you see it?
Yeah.
You didn't want no more no pictures and stuff, right?
No, I didn't. Okay, so she gives.
See, I give very much. No, it's not really like C. It's kind of like it's like, I don't know how to explain it, bitch. But she give butts. Like, she just give butts. Bitch, she give butts. What is you?
Baby. Miss Publix, she didn't waste no time.
She actually took Miss Time. That's the thing. She took Miss Time to let the girls know, like, we do. We just serve the girls. So you're a little type of girl. I get spin for you.
Let me go in here. Hold on, y'all. I'm peeping. She was hot. So y'all, that was my homegirl and I loved her. And that was piquing my interest about, you know, transitioning and hormones. And so then I realized that I was trans and it was a conversation that I wanted to start having realistically. I started to think first because I planned things. So I started to actually think about what it would mean to be trans, what it would mean to be in public and carry myself like a female, because I had already been an androgynous, feminine, gay male that kind of passed back and forth already. But the true essence of womanhood and coming outside and calling myself a female, I had to think about that and make a serious decision if that was what I wanted to do.
Grand decision, because it's just grand.
It's, yeah.
The transition very much like grand.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
So now I'm in my grandmother's house because if you remember back to my coming out story, it was my grandmother who actually gave me a lot of space to be me and be free. My mom with her crap at the time and stuff. So I would sit in my grandmother's house and I would think of the names that I wanted, what names that I knew would fit me. And the way that I
want to know how you handle it.
I wonder if I should have a video where I actually just give them, because each part of like my whole life, it can be a video type thing. It's to get them wanting to come back. So I don't know if I'm really going to talk about with y'all how I got my name. But I ended up coming up with my name, and my gay father, Omar, I love him to death. I called him and I said, Dad, I feel like a woman. And he said, well, what do you mean, daughter? I mean, like, you know, he wasn't really calling me daughter at the time, but it was just like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I like how Mimi look, and I feel like Mimi. Like, I feel like how Mimi is, I'm supposed to be. And it gave, you know, he wanted to kind of shield me from that because he had already been friends with my TS aunties and big sisters. You know, that's how I met them. And he's like, it's a hard life being a woman. It's not very easy, and I don't know how to, I'm not going to know how to tell you certain ways to be because that's not the way that I am. And so that was at the age of 15 because I had already just had my birthday. And I started my sophomore year. And I was going through a lot, so I wasn't able to get on the hormones then, because my sisters were grown and they were in relationships and stuff like that, so I wasn't able to be around them like that to get my moans. But that following year, it was track season, and that is when I got on my hormones. In track season, very much so, I got my first shot by way of my sister Destiny, who actually just got her vagina done last week. And she would give me shots. And that is what started my transition. And it just gave, like, that was how I started. So from all that to then, it's been a very rewarding transition. I haven't had a lot of, I guess I can say I haven't had a lot of bad luck in transitioning. When you transition, you start off with, a lot of doctors like to start you off with pills. But universal rule of thumb for any new trans women, baby, don't you let them start you with them pills. You let them give you them shots. Even if you got to go get you a shot a month, how I did in high school, from your big sisters or your aunties, that shot gets into that bloodstream, and that shot is what works. The pills, like I used to also take progesterone pills, prometriums, and as well as your T blockers, which are your spironolactones. Make sure you stay with those, and make sure you're drinking water, because that is going to help your transition evolve very quick. I also got some secret tips that I'm going to make in another video in the future to help my young trans women.
So stay tuned.
So stay tuned. But I really just want to give you a little backdrop of who I am, where I'm from, what I'm out here doing, and how life is going to be for me in the future. Because if you guys are going to follow my grind from the bottom to the top, this is where I start. And I want everything to be documented, because at the end of the day, when they come back and they need to make my behind the music documentary, you can check mark here. I started on YouTube, Facebook, and on motherfucking Instagram. So y'all, as always, I'm going to wrap this up, bitch. Stay cunt, stay paid, and stay with the shits.